Powered by JK Tyre.
Ladies and gentlemen, a few hours after Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave the world an emphatic reminder of India's DNA of democracy amid ovation and applause, which could almost be perceived as a resounding endorsement of Modi and India's democratic credentials, a motley group of opposition parties back home met today in Patna on the pretext of salvaging Indian democracy. Democracy, which they said is one of the very few political ideas that binds these satraps, whose ties are largely defined by their differences and contradictions. The same narrative that democracy is dead in India, often pitched within and outside the country by political leaders from these opposition parties, was punctured by Prime Minister Modi from American soil in the wee hours of this morning. Listen in.
जो आश्चर्य हो रहा है कि आप कह रहे हैं कि लोग कहते हैं नहीं, भारत डेमोक्रेसी है। और जैसा राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन ने कहा, भारत और अमेरिका दोनों के डीएनए में लोकतंत्र है। लोकतंत्र हमारा स्पिरिट है, और इसलिए जब आप डेमोक्रेसी कहते हैं, जब डेमोक्रेसी को स्वीकार करते हैं और जब हम डेमोक्रेसी को लेकर के जीते हैं, तब डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का कोई सवाल ही नहीं उठता है। और इसलिए भारत सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, सबका प्रयास, उन मूलभूत सिद्धांतों को लेकर के, और इसलिए हम चलते हैं। देयर विल बी एंड देयर मस्ट बी a contest of ideas at home, but we must also come together as one when we speak for our nation. We are home to all faiths in the world, and we celebrate all of them. In India, diversity is a natural way of life. Today, the world wants to know more and more about India.
The other force binding the opposition is the lure of the seat of power in Delhi that has eluded them for almost a decade. Today in Patna, they stood together before cameras and vowed to find a formula to unitedly fight the national elections against Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP. Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee admitted that previous attempts to unite the opposition may have bombed, but expressed hope that Patna may rekindle the magic of Jai Prakash Narayan's 1974 movement that led to a united opposition ousting the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi from power in Delhi post-emergency. Listen in.
एक मीटिंग हो जाएगा तो वो तो एकदम समझिए कि वो अंतिम रूप ले लेगा। कौन कहां लड़ेंगे, क्या है, सब चीज के बारे में सब हो जाएगा। तो सहमति थी, ये हो गया है और बहुत अच्छे ढंग से, और सब लोगों ने माना है कि हम लोग मिलकर के चलेंगे और देश के हित में है। अभी जो भी शासन में है वो देश के हित में काम नहीं कर रहे और सारे इतिहास को बदल रहे हैं। आजादी की लड़ाई को भी भुलवा देंगे।
हिंदुस्तान की नींव पर आक्रमण हो रहा है, फाउंडेशन पर, इंस्टीट्यूशंस पर, आवाज पर बीजेपी और आरएसएस आक्रमण कर रही है। हम में जरूर थोड़ी थोड़ी डिफरेंसेस होंगी, मगर हमने ये निर्णय लिया है कि हम एक साथ काम करेंगे।
दिल्ली में हम लोग बहुत सारे मीटिंग किया लेकिन कोई फ्रूटफुल रिजल्ट नहीं निकाला। अब पटना से शुरू करो। पटना से शुरुआत हुआ है, मीटिंग अच्छा हुआ है। 3 चीज नजदीक में है जो रिजॉल्व हुआ है। नंबर 1, वी आर यूनाइटेड, हम लोग एक है। दूसरी बात है, वी विल फाइट यूनाइटेडली, ये दूसरी बात है, हम लोग एक साथ में लड़ेंगे। हमको खून बहेगा बहने दो, लेकिन हम देश को, जनता को रक्षा करेगा, नहीं तो इंडिया नहीं रहेगा। अगर ये चुनाव में फिर वो लोग आ जाए तानाशाही गवर्नमेंट, तो नेक्स्ट देश में चुनाव ही नहीं होगा।
कि आइडिया ऑफ इंडिया का जितना सपोर्टरी और वोटरी जम्मू कश्मीर है, शायद कोई ऐसा नहीं होगा। तो हमारी कोशिश यही रहेगी कि हम गांधी के मुल्क को गोडसे का मुल्क बनने नहीं देंगे।
और सब ये भी जानते हैं कि हम अलग अलग पार्टी के नेता हैं, स्वाभाविक है, हमारी विचारधारा अलग है, कुछ मतलब भिन्नता हो भी सकती है, लेकिन देश एक है। और इस देश को बचाने के लिए, देश की एकता अखंडता कायम रखने के लिए हम एक साथ आए हैं।
However, behind the facade of hope, hiding the reality of the facile front's fissures, even before the regional satraps could arrive at any formula, the Aam Aadmi Party is believed to have put conditions before the Congress Party, asking it to join hands with the Aam Aadmi Party to oppose the centre's ordinance crippling the Delhi government's powers in the Rajya Sabha if the opposition unity formula is to materialize. In fact, just minutes after Arvind Kejriwal and Mr. Maan, the Chief Minister of Punjab, walked out of this meeting, there was a statement that came out that they would not go in for any further meeting with the Congress Party unless the Congress made its stand clear on this ordinance. Listen in to the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson.
इन 12 में से 11 पार्टियों ने ये साफ कर दिया कि हम दिल्ली के काले अध्यादेश के खिलाफ खड़े हैं, हम इसका खंडन करते हैं। केवल और केवल कांग्रेस ने अपनी सफाई नहीं दी। कुछ विश्वसनीय सूत्रों से पता चला है, कांग्रेस के जो सीनियर लीडर्स हैं वो कह रहे हैं कि हमारी और बीजेपी में बात भी चल रही है कि जब ये राज्यसभा में लाया जाएगा तो हम इसका वॉकआउट कर देंगे, मतलब बीजेपी को सपोर्ट कर देंगे। और अगर कांग्रेस का यही रुख रहा तो हमारे हिसाब से ऐसे कोई भी गठबंधन जिसमें कांग्रेस हिस्सा होगी, हमारे लिए पार्टिसिपेट करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा। इतना ही नहीं, अगर भविष्य में ऐसी कोई भी मीटिंग होती है जब लाइक माइंडेड पार्टी साथ में आती है और अगर कांग्रेस उसका हिस्सा रहेगी तो आम आदमी पार्टी का उसका हिस्सा रहना मुश्किल हो जाएगा।
Not surprising then that the BJP found an excuse to call this an alliance of selfish politics and hunger for power as the compelling factor that the opposition parties were coming together. Listen in to the BJP's charge.
स्वार्थ का ये गठबंधन जिसके निशाने पर है हिंदुस्तान, ये राजनीतिक दल जब भी इकट्ठे आए, भ्रष्टाचार लाए, परिवारवाद लाए।
मित्रों, आज 23 तारीख को पटना में एक फोटो सेशन चल रहा है। सारे विपक्ष के नेता एक मंच पर इकट्ठा हो रहे हैं और संदेश देना चाहते हैं कि हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी को, एनडीए को और मोदी जी को चैलेंज करेंगे। मैं सारे विपक्ष के नेताओं को एक कहना चाहता हूं, कितने भी हाथ मिला दो, आपकी एकता कभी संभव नहीं है।
ये गलबाइयां कर रहे हैं, गले मिल रहे हैं, मुलाकात कर रहे हैं। यही नीतीश कुमार पूरे 20 महीने जेल की सीटों के पीछे कांग्रेस पार्टी की इंदिरा गांधी ने डाला था, यही राहुल गांधी की दादी ने डाला था। आज पटना की धरती पर राहुल को आदर सहित उनको स्वागत करते हुए जब मैं इनकी तस्वीरें देख रहा हूं तो मुझे याद आता है कि राजनीति में क्या से क्या हो गया।
Well, this may be only one of the many sticky points that is dividing the opposition satraps, which the BJP was quick to point out. The ruling party had already branded it a doomed project right from the outside. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. United as anti-Modi bloc, but divided by contradictions? Is that the reality of opposition unity? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining the debate tonight, Dr. Ajay Alok, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Sunil Singh, spokesperson of the JDU, Naval Kishore, spokesperson of the RJD, Abbas Haider, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress Party, advocate Waris Pathan, national spokesperson of the AIMIM, and Mr. Trajano Di Mello, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, joined the Newshour tonight. And Dr. Naval Kishore, let me begin with you. Straight question, Mamata Banerjee says we are all united. And there is the official bite of the Aam Aadmi Party saying that कुछ ना कुछ तो conspiracy है, कांग्रेस तो साथ नहीं है और हम कांग्रेस के साथ नहीं है. You wanted to hold this opposition meeting, no common minimum program, no seat share plan, not even coming together of all political parties, not even a national convener decided and announced. The only thing we got is Tariq pe Tariq. 23rd June, now 10th to 12th of July. That is the only takeaway from today's opposition unity meet.
Navika, there are two important things that we must understand. First, that this unity which was initiated in the month of August 2022, that we are going to have a united stand across the political party from opposition party who will fight together to unseat the current government. And this government, which is equating itself as a nation, has to be challenged, because government is a government. Government is not nation. Or speaking against government is not speaking against government. So with this idea, Nitish Kumar and Mahagathbandhan from Bihar started this kind of campaign, and which was contradicted by BJP right from the beginning, that they will never come together. So the first answer to the question that BJP was raising, that we have united 17 different political party. Of course there are differences, and differences is beauty of democracy that BJP does not understand. They understand that whoever will obey them, whoever will speak their language, only they are a political party, all others are either corrupt or anti-national. We want to break this narrative, and therefore we have come together and given a message that the political party across the country have come together to fight this government.
Where is that message? Where is that message that you have come together? Aam Aadmi Party has punctured your balloon. No, they are not together.
No, that is the whole thing, that if somebody have something, it will be discussed. I do not know why you are not showing that Mallikarjun Kharge, President of Indian National Congress, have said that if something is there about ordinance, when the time of Lok Sabha will come, we will discuss. Today's meeting was only to suggest that we are coming together, and there was no difference on that. All political
coming together in words but not in deeds. Well, that's what we saw. Lokesh Jindal, I've been speaking to senior Congress leaders, and they say it's not about 100% surety but a 200% surety that on the issue of the ordinance they will not support the Aam Aadmi Party, which means the alliance with the Congress there or the Aam Aadmi Party there, one of the two will not be there. Number one, which doesn't make it a united opposition. Number two, already parties like YSR Congress, JDS, BJD, BRS, Mayawati's BSP are not part of this opposition alliance. So what is this? All parties, political parties in the opposition are uniting. Where is that unity? So many main players are not part of that united opposition front, and those who are there have contradictions with each other and are already blackmailing and putting conditions. So where is the Vipakshi Ekta?
Navika ji, well, all the political parties, they are agreeing on the opposition to BJP, because the manner in which BJP has abused its power over centralization misuse of the governor's power, misuse of constitutional provisions, subverting the constitution, threatening democratic apparatus of the country. All this has brought all the 17 political parties together. With respect to Aam Aadmi Party does not have a coherent ideology. It does not have a fixed ideological roadmap. Now, when there was the Rajya Sabha resolution was moved by the Congress, Aam Aadmi Party did not support it. And time and again, it has deviated from its ideological stand. So the point is, we are not against Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party has to put its house in order, and then it can come up with certain understanding with the Congress. So it has to make sure that the nation comes first.
Fantastic.
The ideology on which all the political parties they are.
पहले अल्टीमेटम एक तरफ से था, अब दूसरी तरफ से भी आ गया. And Ajay Alok, that is the short and sweet story of opposition unity that took place in Patna today, which was very aptly called by the Home Minister a photo session. How do you respond?
Well, definitely it was a photo session, but the problem is that there's a कहावत in Hindi, ज़्यादा जोगी मठ उजाड़. तो मठ तो बनने से पहले ही उजड़ गया है. See, what you mentioned about Aam Aadmi Party, but you forgot to mention about Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, what he said just after the meeting ended in Patna. तृणमूल कांग्रेस चोरों की पार्टी. ममता बनर्जी, बंगाल में आप हमें खत्म करना चाहती हैं और बाहर हम आपको मदद करने के लिए खड़े रहें, ये आप मत सोचा करो. ये नामुमकिन है, बिल्कुल नामुमकिन है. दीदी को ज्ञान होने लगा. And she is a chosen for the opposition unity. This is the statement of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, not mine. Well, I don't have to say anything on this grand alliance. Better they do this grand alliance. But the point is that all these, they are just, dirt. All the parties which came together, what are they accused of? They are either accused of nepotism or they are accused of corruption, of परिवारवाद और भ्रष्टाचार में आकंठ डूबे हुए पार्टियों का जमघट लगा है. Who wants to save? They have an existential crisis. Everybody said that अगर आ गए मोदी, आ गए 24 में, तो इसके बाद चुनाव नहीं होगा. Look at the fear complex they have that if Modi comes, they are not going to survive anymore. So I can't help it. You can't help it. The country can't help it. Country is seeing that where we are progressing to. And today I want to more discuss that. I just remember Atal Bihari Vajpayee famous quote. When Ram Mandir Yatra was happening, one of the journalists asked him, and he had to take a delegation of parliamentarians to US. So one of the journalists asked, सब लोग अयोध्या जा रहे हैं, आप अमेरिका जा रहे हैं. He said, राम भक्त अयोध्या जा रहे हैं, देश भक्त अमेरिका, न्यूयॉर्क जा रहे हैं. So today what's happening, that देश भक्त in New York and Washington DC is doing his job, strengthening the country, bringing laurels to the country, making every Indian proud, and परिवार भक्त and भ्रष्टाचार भक्त.
They are going in Patna now.
परिवार भक्त and भ्रष्टाचार भक्त.
राम भक्त अमेरिका जा रहे हैं,
परिवार भक्त
जा रहे हैं सर.
They are sitting in Patna.
No, because the point is to save the country from the manner in which you have brought about a complete mockery of democracy.
Why you are getting agitated?
No, I'm getting irritated because I'm an Indian citizen. The manner in which you are misusing government.
These kind of futile exercise. No, I'll tell you. I'm praising Rahul Gandhi.
You're supporting democracy.
See, I'm praising Rahul Gandhi. What he summed up.
Parties to come
Don't
together.
interfere in between.
Sir, always remember, all
Rahul Gandhi
colors
summed up
agree in the
very
dark.
nicely today.
And this darkness that is prevailing in the country, in the political atmosphere.
Lokesh Jindal ji, allow him to make a point. He's responding to you. Respond, Ajay Alok.
I'm just saying what your leader said today. Yeah. I'm just saying what his leader said today, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. He said that we are very thankful to Nitish ji कि उन्होंने हमें बुलाया और बिहार का सबसे अच्छा खाना लिट्टी चोखा खिलाया और गुलाब जामुन खिलाया. So he went to Patna for eating litti chokha and gulab jamun. That's very nice narrative. And in the end, Lalu Yadav sums it up by advising Rahul Gandhi to get married.
There is a further development in Shimla happening.
To get married. And the next meeting fixed up after 15-20 days. Go to Shimla, get some cool, because by that time the dust will settle on Mamata Banerjee, Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, blah, blah, blah. Stalin was also absent from the press conference.
Well, let me raise this. Let me raise this and let me get in Trajano Di Mello, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. And Mr. Di Mello, I want to ask you, is it a coincidence that when Sitaram Yechuri of the CPM began to speak, Mamata Banerjee abruptly left the press conference? I'm just asking, was it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that Mr. M.K. Stalin was not part of the press conference? Is it a coincidence that I think Akhilesh Yadav was not visible in the press conference? Is it a coincidence that Kejriwal and Bhagwant Mann left before the press conference? Showing really the signaling from the meeting today at least showed that. And then the reality check of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, of Pradeep Bhattacharya, who spoke to me earlier today and said that if Mamata Banerjee believes that regional parties will hold the sway and the Congress party has to show a large heart, and if she believes that we won't contest any seats or a handful of seats in Bengal, she can forget about it. Now, with these kind of statements coming in, Mr. Di Mello, do you really think there is a possibility of any really meaningful opposition unity?
There is no question of thinking. It is happening. The very fact that the union minister had to comment on this opposition saying that it is a photo session. If it is a photo session, what is the importance of him to, when Manipur is burning, he was not opening his mouth, campaigning in Karnataka. So let us not just get into those things, this tussle of when all are getting together. Tell me, how many alliance partners have deserted the BJP? Why are you not talking of that? Who stayed with them? The question is, when people are coming together, who have different strengths in different states, there is going to be a tussle. This is democracy. At the end of the day, UPA was formed, NDA was formed by tussles. It doesn't happen smoothly. It's not a cake to just cut it and eat it. It's ultimately you have said in the beginning that the BJP says that this is an ambition for power. That you should understand, the BJP should understand the DNA in every politician and every political party is to come to power, to serve the people. But here there is a BJP who comes to power to crush the very democratic process that brought them to power. So what are we talking about? Can you heard it? The Prime Minister, you have shown just now the Prime Minister talking in the state. Why don't you show that he is talking about investigating the girl? Why don't you show that? And why don't you tell us that you used a teleprompter of 56-inch chest talks and shows that he's following a top story, that you require a teleprompter to answer 2 questions? So please understand, the BJP has made the governors, the Raj Bhavans, as the RSS shakas, and using the governors as RSS.
What about the courts? What about the courts? The courts which have ticked off the Bengal government for failure to maintain law and order every time an election is announced? Why don't you answer that question? You're very worried about Manipur. Rightly so, we are all worried about Manipur. But why don't you worry about Bengal as well?
Please. Courts have said a lot of things everywhere. It is not the final word. At the end of the day, there will be a certain judgment. All judgments will not come in favor of government. All rulings will not come in the favor of any government.
But it shows your intent. It shows your intent, Mr. Di Mello, when you say violence is taking place, but we don't want central forces. It shows your intent. But you're very quick to point out fingers, and you say courts say a lot of things. So are you saying courts should not be taken seriously? I don't know. Advocate Waris Pathan is with us. Courts should not be taken seriously. BJP should not be taken seriously. Nobody should be taken seriously except the opposition unity meeting in Patna. That should be taken very, very seriously, Mr. Waris Pathan. Where do you stand on that?
Please, you say that I did not say courts should not be taken into consideration.
Well, Navika, our main aim and intention is to see to it that the BJP loses the 2024. And we want to defeat them, and we want to ensure that Modi does not become the Prime Minister in 2024. We will be using all our efforts and will be contesting the election and see to it that we win and the BJP loses. But here today what we see is that the 15 plus parties who were present there in Patna. They never invited us, though we said, take us, we won't go to them with the begging ball. We also have an intention to defeat the BJP, they also want. But if Varis Pathan speaks against the so-called secular parties who hold the meeting today, I will become BJP's B team. I will not remain secular. If I speak against the BJP, I would remain nationalist. So my position is such that Razia Gundo mein phas gayi hai. But let me tell you, let us see the background of those parties also who are having a meeting today in Patna. Nitish Kumar, what can I say more about him? He is like kabhi is dal pe, kabhi is dal pe. When the 2002 Godhra incident happened, he was the railway minister at that time. That time he was, now he is with BJP. Again he became the chief minister because of the BJP. Then again now he has shifted his stand. The other person who were present there, the Thakres, Uddhav Thackeray, when he was the chief minister of Maharashtra, on the floor of the assembly, he said clearly that we are proud that we have demolished the Babri Masjid. And the Congress, who says that we are secular, they joined hands with them, they held a nikah with them, and now they are sharing powers with them. So, people of the country are watching, the state of Maharashtra is also watching them. The other person, Kejriwal, what happened with them, we all know, he and Congress, they are not going well together. Kejriwal was the person, his party, Aam Aadmi Party, supported the 370 article abrogation in Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. So all these parties who have come together, let us see what happens. As I said, there's a couple in Urdu, Ibtidai ishq hai, rota hai kya, aage dekhiye hota hai kya. But we surely will contest the election. And coming to the BJP, and as Ajay Alok just now spoke about Modi's speech yesterday, let me tell you, Modi spoke about religious discrimination. He spoke about sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas, and he also said India ke andar sab theek hai, but what is it not religious discrimination when you bring CAA, clear-cut case of religious discrimination? Every day Muslims are being mob lynched in the name of cow. If you don't speak JSR, you are mob lynched. Is that not religious discrimination? So there's something is happening here, but what you are saying there is totally different. Barack Obama, the ex-president of United States, he said in an interview that if I had an opportunity to meet the Prime Minister Modi, the first question I'll ask him will, what is the minorities' position in the country? The minorities, the ethnic minorities, the difficulty.
Ajay Alok, ये फंसी हुई रजिया फंसी हुई है गुंडों में. इन्होंने बहुत से चार्जेस लगाए हैं. रजिया जी, सॉरी, वारिस पठान जी का जवाब दे दीजिए.
ये रजिया है कौन?
One more question.
No, Varis Pathan, you've shot off many questions. First, allow Ajay Alok to answer the questions you've already asked. Varis Pathan ji, calm down. आप तो फंसे हुए हो ना? आप तो फंसे हुए हो. थोड़े सवालों के जवाब सुनो.
हम तो फंसे हुए.
Navika, you must ask him this question once I finish, that who is this Rajia Gunde Kaun? Anyway, the basic antipathy and the basic frustration and utter desperation towards the Prime Minister is not going to help, my dear friend. One thing is common in all these 15 parties and plus you, that you hate Prime Minister Modi. But your problem is that this country loves Prime Minister Modi and its policies that is driving the country forward. And there is a basic problem with the Congress also. For defeating Modi, you go to Pakistan to seek their help. कि मोदी को हटाने में हमारी मदद कीजिए. That doesn't work. Congress goes to foreign media in UK and US and says that democracy is being killed. The same language what you use right now, atrocity on the minority, the same language is being used by Pakistan. And Barack Obama, if he said something, you should also remember Barack Obama said many things when he was the president also. He also wrote something about Rahul Gandhi. So let's not take him that much seriously, because India-US relationship is a relationship based on mutual trust and mutual benefit. And mutual benefit. Listen to me. Listen to the. If you learn to know the democracy first, learn to know the diplomacy first. Don't interfere in between.
You don't even talk about
I just said in the first line, your basically apathy and your hatred towards Modi is not going to change the things.
What are you talking about democracy?
For you,
You don't even know what democracy means.
Let me tell you. Prime Minister is our leader, and
indoctrinated to worship one person.
Prime Minister is our leader, and under his leadership, BJP is contesting.
And the Congress Party.
And what the hell you're speaking here?
And the Congress Party.
On the data.
Madam, we have an organization.
You're a family-run party now. I mean, you don't want people to not know the truth. Number one. Number two, Barack Obama, if he's gospel truth, then he's written in his book a lot about Mr. Rahul Gandhi and how he doesn't have the spark, to really don the mantle of a political leader who can challenge Modi. And the book also talks about the fact that how the Congress president then Sonia Gandhi ji made Dr. Manmohan Singh the Prime Minister only to keep the seat warm for her 40-year-old son. All of that is also part of Obama's book. So maybe if you're taking Obama's and his statements so seriously, maybe you should just pay attention to the other part as well. But let me get in with Dr. Sunil Singh of the JDU. Dr. Sunil Singh, yesterday when I spoke with the Union Minister Smriti Irani, she said, आप तो एक ब्रिज भी नहीं बचा सके, 1750 करोड़ का ब्रिज ही बह गया, आप ब्रिज बिटवीन पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज कैसे बनाएंगे?
Look, ये ब्रिज कैसे बनाएंगे? Now that thing has been shown to India and the world that under the able leadership of Honorable Nitish Kumar, we had a perfect opposition unity meeting in Patna today. And there was a joint press conferences where the top leaders of the different political parties, they admitted three things. One, that opposition is united. Second, we will fight election unitedly. And third was that a little bit hiccups are there between different political parties, but like in a family when there are members, there are differences among family members when it comes when they sit together and talk. This little bit of hiccups will also be solved, and it will be one to one end, and then people's aspirations of Bhajpa Mukt Bharat will be fulfilled in 2024. And so the BJP leaders like Smriti and Irani and all, they are in a denial mode just to please her master. They are talking about this.
They are in denial mode when you are saying that there were hiccups in the meeting. Kamal hai, you are the one saying there were hiccups in the meeting, and Smriti Irani ji is in denial mode. Abbas Haider, smooth sailing to nahi thi. It wasn't the flying start that anybody would have expected. There are contradictions which is visible to everybody. The DMK Congress relationship, kabhi haan, kabhi na, the CPM and Trinamool Congress relationship, the relationship between Lalu Prasad Yadav and Nitish Kumar, the relationship of Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad Yadav with the Congress party, the Aam Aadmi party with the Congress party. There are so many contradictions that exist. So Abbas Haider, before I come to you, Naval Kishore ji, Abbas Haider, my question is, you also tried your hand at every alliance. 2017 cycle pe ladke, and then 2019 it was Bua Bhatija. It's very difficult to let only mathematics dictate things. Chemistries are important.
Navika ji, Bihar has always been a driving force to awaken the country. Be it 1917 when under the leadership of Gandhi ji, India awakened against the British from Champaran, or be it 1975 when under the lead of JP, India was awakened against the emergency. And this time, even 2024, I guess people of the country, they are awakened. They are against the Bharatiya Janata Party, against the undeclared emergency of Bharatiya Janata Party. And yes, you have given a couple of examples how these problems, how these issues were sorted out between the parties actually. And there has been around 17 parties, 15 of them participated today. There has been a difference on one particular issue among two political parties, and I am very hopeful, I'm quite sure that it will be sorted soon. And this time it is not about second lines or third front, all these things. It is about united India with all the political parties against Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Ajay Alok is pointing finger. I want to ask him, has any political party joined hands with Bharatiya Janata Party in last couple of years, or has their alliance partner left Bharatiya Janata Party? He should answer this. I think 23 allies of BJP have left in past 8 to 9 years.
Ajay Alok, respond.
So people, even the allies of Bharatiya Janata Party, when they know that BJP is losing badly in 2024, that is why they're leaving Bharatiya Janata Party. They have lost ground across the country. This is the reality. And as far as Samajwadi
now
Party
listen to the answer. Don't repeat one thing again and again.
That will not leave any stone unturned in Uttar Pradesh.
Don't be repetitive.
Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay, he's responding. He's responding to your question. Ajay Alok.
That's your job. You have to do it.
Yeah, we will.
My friend,
and because UP leads me to Delhi, to the parliament.
Don't interfere in between there. This is not fair. This is not done. This is not a spirit of debate. Don't interfere. Listen, please. You have mentioned some point. I'm answering to that. I'm answering to your points. You mentioned very interesting fact that Bihar is a land of awakening, where Gandhi started his satyagraha in 1917, and in 1977 under the leadership of JP, the JP movement started. Yes, it just started. Today also you have just awakened the people of Bihar by doing this meeting. What was the JP movement for? It was against the corruption of the Congress and imposition of the emergency that the student movement took place.
And this time,
spread all over India, and JP was leading it. Who were the leaders of those movements? Lalu Yadav, Nitish Kumar, all were jailed by the Congress. The issue was corruption. And today who are doing the meetings? All the parties, all the leaders who are accused of corruption. You have awakened the people of Bihar and India that this alliance, this meeting is just to protect your corruption. This meeting is just to protect your parivar. You know, today 8 Shahzada and Shahzadi attended the meeting. 8.
For the country,
out of 15, 12 parties have Shahzada and Shahzadi.
Again in 2024.
And this has awakened the people of
Abbas Haidar, just answer one question. How many seats will you share with the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh? How many?
Of course. One thing is certain.
Kitne de doge? Out of the 80 seats, how much are you going to give it to? How much are you giving the Congress party?
There will be a couple of other meetings. We will decide. We have come up to this consensus that we are going to fight it together. Forget about seat sharing.
Is any consensus, Dr. Naval Kishore? Now I understand you want the country and you want to set a narrative before the country that all of you have come together. Okay, let's say we agree. सारे पार्टीज इकट्ठे आ गए. Very good. You're one big happy family. हम साथ हैं. Now tell me, does this actually mean anything as far as elections is concerned? Because elections is all about who's fighting on what seats, how are you going to share those seats, and how are you going to oppose the BJP, and if it has a few alliance partners, how are you going to position one candidate so that the votes are not divided? That is what you have learned from previous political experiments. How are you going to do it?
You know, the first important milestone had been achieved. And
which is the picture.
Yes.
It is a photo and a joint press conference.
It is not a photo. Just
और क्या हुआ? Also one more day. You got another day. What else have you got out of today's meeting?
We have got a united opinion on the issue of fighting election together against BJP.
Okay.
And that has been well taken by the country, including you. Number one. Number two, how are we going to fight? This question is very important, and therefore it needs time, and we have taken a date, and the election.
How many seats will you give the Congress party? How many seats will you give the Congress party?
This is not for us to decide in the studio. It is for the political party to sit together and decide, and it will be done. On that issue, there is no question. The question is, which is important, is to look at a government which is anti-people. On the issue of what they have delivered in the past 9 years, you will find that they were talking of 2 crores job each year. Now 80 crores people are on 5 kilo ration. This is the reality. On the issue of fighting corruption, look at how they fight.
Lokesh
come together.
So Lokesh Jindal, Bihar mein nobody is committing to you how many seats. UP mein nobody wants to give you any seats. Trinamool Congress does not want to give you any seats. So you are still willing to be a part and a leader of this alliance party, and the only thing that got sorted out today was the proposal that Rahul Gandhi should get married, and Lalu Prasad Yadav will be the Bharati, and so will the other political parties.
Why this anxiety and panic in the opposition? Why this hurry? I mean, let the entire meeting happen. In Shimla, we will have a better consensus over the common minimum program. The seat sharing formula will be the next logical development. Power sharing formula, everything will fall in line. Why this form of a hurry? I can understand.
Before the seat sharing formula, there is a power sharing formula, Waris Pathan. This is the cart before the horse.
Let things fall in line.
You are watching, that is why we say let's see what happens as near Apteda Ishkar hota hai kya aage dekhiye hota hai kya, but we are definitely going to contest elections and then these people will come against us and they will say tum khade hue BJP ki B team mein iske liye hum log haare, but we have been telling them.
तो फिर बीजेपी की बी टीम में तो बीआरएस भी हो गई, जेडीएस भी हो गई, बीजेडी भी हो गई, because all of them are not part of this alliance. Wherever they will stand, they will divide the votes. So Mr. De Mello, is everybody a B team of BJP?
No, every allow every political party has a right to contest election, and so do we have. We will be contesting elections. We have been saying them, okay, come, take us along with you or join us hands to hand. We will defeat the BJP. But if they are not interested, then after the election, they must not cry, baby. We will not go with a begging ball to them and, okay, take us, please, then let us take us with you and we will contest along with you and defeat. No, let us sit together and let us decide. But they are not interested. So let us see what happens. ऐसे तो चाय की पार्टियां बहुत देखी है हमने. We have seen such kind of meetings happening. Now today only Aam Aadmi Party went against the Congress. So let us see what happens tomorrow. Nitish Kumar को कभी
Mr. De Mello, for an opposition alliance to succeed, what do you need? You need a seat sharing agreement. You know, any agreement on that? Certainly not. We don't know anything. A common face who will be the leader of that opposition alliance. Anything resolved? Not at all. Anything on decided on which seat, how many seats every political party is going to fight in every different state? Not decided. If there are so many variables, nothing is decided, then frankly it's just a photo op, isn't it?
If it is photo op, Navita, you would have not given the prime time to it. Number one. Number two, about having everything decided in the first meeting, it is just not possible under any human circumstances. Tell me one thing, coming together and saying that we will fight unitedly, we will fight the dictatorship of this signal has gone clear. Secondly, the regional players who are very strong in their states, who are part of this opposition unity, have made it very clear that whoever is strong in certain places, that in fact, whoever is strong there, they will be fight. I think this basic principle has been agreed and there will be an absolute consensus at least among 400 to 425 seats. The remaining, we will have to watch what is happening. So let us not put 1 minute, please. Let us not expect everything on day one. Even if a girl and boy has to marry, just two people, they start meeting for at least 10 times to understand each other. And you are talking of...
Okay. So right now, you're dating. What you're saying is you're dating. Today was the first date and the next date in July 10th to 12th and the dating is going to carry on. Well, I love romance. I love romance and you're most welcome to romance each other as long as you want. You know, and mohabbat ki dukaan to bola hi hai Rahul Gandhi ne. So great romance that is going on over here. Ajay Alok, it's a love story in the making. Why are you getting so upset?
Please.
Because they are losing friends.
They are the thorns.
I'm not getting upset, Navika. I guess today RJD is a bit upset because they wanted Nitish Kumar to be convener so that he could resign in the next 7 days and Tejasvi could have become CM, but that didn't work out actually.
You have left
so they must be hoping that on 10th or 12th, whenever the meeting will be,
you will also leave BJP after a certain point of time.
All the best to Tejasvi for that.
All the best to you. After joining BJP, all the best to you. May you get something.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you don't get, don't leave the BJP.
One more thing.
If you don't get anything, don't leave BJP.
303 seats. This is for all. If all of you listen very carefully and plan your strategy accordingly. What I'm going to say is very important for you all. We won 303 seats. Out of these 303 seats, 224 seats we got more than 50% of votes. This is
going to dismantle.
You have already lost
50 seats. We got 45
328 seats.
We are within 50.
328 seats people were together.
50 seats. We got 45 to 50% of votes.
328 Lok Sabha
that
seat
makes it 274.
In the political
you all
party.
put together.
You have
all
lost,
those 7-8 people who have not come, go and beg them. Take them all together.
You have lost the calendar. So many political parties with whom you got support. You have already lost it. Now you are standing alone and therefore liable to be defeated. And will be defeated.
You have also lost Nitish Kumar in the past. Today you have gained. ये नफा नुकसान चलता रहेगा. But basically it is a dating, it is a romance that is developing. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, there is no consensus on the prime ministerial phase. There is no consensus on a common minimum program. There is no consensus on a seat sharing agreement. There is also no consensus on whether the Congress party is acceptable to all the constituents who actually met there today. And there is no consensus on whether the Congress party will follow every diktat made by every regional party. No consensus on any of these main points, but there is consensus on one thing, and the consensus is that it is a romance that is just taking shape. The romance, the dating will continue. This time around in July, it will be in the cold environment of Shimla, in the summer months where they will sit together and date again. What happens after that? We'll keep our eyes. And Mr. De Mello, I only want to tell you one thing, with a little humor, if I may. We are journalists, just like you are politicians. You will do your dating, you will do your alliances. We are journalists. We pick up the news of the day. And the news of the day, of course, 15 political parties were meeting in Patna, was the news of the day. We followed the news of the day on the primetime show, as we always do. Yesterday, the news of the day and all day today was the Prime Minister's speech. In the evening, we went on with the developments in Patna. Don't take just the choice of the topic of debate as a sign of victory of this alliance, because people will be looking for answers and many questions will follow you in the days and weeks to come. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on the News Hour. And